Hello and welcome to Raising Successful Teens Global Summit. I am your host, Andrea Zacharias, and I am so excited you've tuned into our speaker series. Our expert today is Keisha Howard-Gaddis, also known as Coach Keisha. Keisha is a nationally recognized speaker, author, mentor, and certified life coach who brings a whole lot of girl power wherever she goes. She specializes in healthy teen girl development, and her programs inspire tweens, teen girls, and young women how to build confidence, make positive decisions, and genuinely love themselves while empowering their parents to maintain connected and have healthy communication throughout adolescence. I am so pleased to introduce Keisha Howard-Gaddis to you today. Keisha, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Good. And I hope everyone who's watching, you have a notebook handy to take notes, because I know this is going to be an awesome interview today. So why don't you just tell us a little bit, Keisha, about yourself. Tell us a little about yourself and what got you started doing the work that you're doing today.
Yeah. So again, thanks for having me here today. Whenever I received your email about what the conference and what the summit was going to be about, I was like, oh yeah, I've got to participate in this because I love helping teens. I love helping parents. And so this is my jam. I could talk about this for hours, so you'll probably have to be cutting me off. But as Andrea said, I am Keisha Howard-Gaddis, and I'm a life coach for girls and for their moms. And I've been doing this for several years now. I kind of got started in this field because I started a nonprofit organization for girls about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And from that, the organization just grew, and I realized that I wanted to work with girls on a deeper level and more of an individualized level. So I started working with girls as a life coach and also coaching their moms on understanding the transitions from being a girl to a young woman and understanding all of the hot topics and the tricky stuff that goes on whenever you're a teenager. I kind of feel like I was called into this work. I had a really tough time whenever I was a teen. I struggled with a lot of body image issues and self-esteem, and because of that, I didn't make the best choices. Mm-hmm. And my background is in counseling and being a school counselor and being a teacher. And I noticed that there was a lot of girls who were also struggling with the same things that I did as a teenager. And, that's just whenever I decided that I had to do something about it. And I wanted to provide a program and a service that not only gave girls an outlet to talk to someone about that tricky stuff that happens whenever you're a teenager and that stuff that can be hard to figure out, but I wanted them to have a place to talk, but then I also wanted to be able to provide strategies and support for them so that they don't struggle in silence, so that they don't make poor choices because of their lack of self-worth or their lack of belief in themselves. Mm-hmm. So that's what I do. I work with girls individually, I work with girls in groups, and I work with mother-daughter pairs as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And, it's interesting. So many people who do the work that we do, it's, a lot of times we're kind of answering that pain that we had when we were teenagers, right? And yeah, I wish I had something like what you offer, what so many other experts offer when I was a teenager. So thank you so much for the work that you do.
Thank you. Thanks for the work that you do.
Thank you. So I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, what are the most important practices parents must adopt to set their teens on the path to success?
Yeah. So a lot of things just came to mind. One thing I will say that, I like to encourage parents to do is to definitely listen to their daughter. That's one thing that I hear a lot in my office is that my parents, I feel like they don't hear me. I feel like they don't understand me, and they're just not listening to me. Mm-hmm. And the girls bring up the fact of our busy schedules, our, hectic lives, our social media, our being on the phone, our multitasking. And a lot of teen girls just aren't feeling heard. And whenever they're not heard, that's whenever they turn to people who will hear them. Mm-hmm. And the people who will hear them may not be the best people. Mm-hmm. It may be that boy down the street that doesn't make good choices. It may be that stranger online who she doesn't even know, but they're listening to them. So just one tip I would say is listen to her, and girls are really, really good at smiling and acting like everything is okay. So if she's smiling and, looking like she's doing well, that's great, but talk to her, find out a little bit more about how was her day? What was the coolest thing that happened to you today? What made you upset today? What was really challenging today? And how did you overcome that challenge? Did you have any kind of pressuring moments today? Like really ask her those in-depth questions and find out how she's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, were you going to add something else there?
No, I was going to say that's just one tip just off the top that I hear a lot in my office. So, I would just share that with parents.
When you're talking to those moms and telling them, to listen, what would really help them to show their daughters that they're truly listening? Because, there's different things that we're doing and moms might say, hey, yes, I'm listening, but what could help their daughters know that they're truly listening?
Yeah, I would say, express their feeling, reflect their feeling more than trying to fix it. And trying to fix it hinders them in other ways that we can talk about in just a second. But, reflect their feeling. Let them know that you understand how they feel, and you're there for them. But then if they want you to fix it, then I'll try to offer some solutions. But they don't always want you to fix it. And it's not always a good idea to try to fix whatever the situation is, because you want your daughter to become a self-advocate. You want her to be able to, go into the workforce one day and be able to solve problems. You want her to be able to stand up for herself.
Yeah.
And if you're always creating the solutions for her, and if you're always fixing whatever situation she has, she won't learn those skills.
Right.
She won't be as adaptable. Employees are looking for people who are adaptable. That's who they want to hire. And if your daughter has never had a chance to adapt,
yeah,
as you are fixing it for her all the time, she's going to struggle. So I caution parents against jumping to save her mode.
Right.
Try to brainstorm with her. And, let her know, man, it sounds like you're having a tough day. What do you think the first step, what's the first step you can take to make this day better? Or it sounds like you and your friend are having a really hard time. I'm sorry that y'all are arguing. What do you think you could do? What's the first thing you could do, right now? What could you do to kind of make this situation better? So coach her. Coach her in solving her own issues, and she'll grow up and to be a more productive woman.
Yeah. Well, I love that. I think that is, you said something really key there, and all of that, and not solving the problem for them is so huge, in giving them that ability to think critically and solve their own problems. But at the same time, having that space where they feel comfortable that they can talk. And the more that you not answer and solve the problem, the more they'll be willing to talk.
Yeah.
To their moms.
Totally.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So what do you believe are the most challenging problems that teens are faced with today?
I would say one of the most challenging problems is comparison. They're constantly online, and constantly feeling like they have to update their status, post to Snapchat. They got to keep their streaks. They have to maintain this presence on Instagram and on Finsta. And, they have to be on all day. And gosh, that's enough pressure right there to feel like you have to be on. But then you're so on, and your friends are on, and everybody's just on, and everybody's life is fabulous, and everybody's posting all their amazing pictures. So it's like they really feel this state of comparison all day. And that affects them in so many ways. It affects their self-esteem.
Yeah.
It affects how they show up in the world, because if they feel like they don't measure up to the girl next to them, they're going to kind of dim their light a little bit. You know, they're going to kind of die down a little bit when, you know, it's like, I encourage girls not to compare themselves to anyone, and not to compare themselves to social media, especially because, you know, I mean, I'm sure you know this, but with everything that they see on social media is not real.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I use the analogy, and the girls, I don't know, they get this analogy a lot, but I use the analogy of, you know, social media is like looking at people's front porch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, people can make their front porch so pretty. You can put flower pots, you can put a welcome mat, you can put a wreath on the door, you can cut the grass. It can look amazing, but you have no idea what's going on in that house.
Right.
The house could be stinky, it could be dirty, there could be roaches, like,
right.
you don't know.
Absolutely.
That is what social media is.
Yeah.
You're looking at everybody's front porch.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's front porch is looking amazing, but you don't know what is going on in their house.
Right.
And so whenever I explain that to girls, they're like, oh, yeah, you know, you're right, because one of my friends, she posts these amazing pictures, but I know her parents are getting a divorce right now, and I know she cries every night. And, you know, it comes out. The truth comes out.
Yeah.
Whenever they look at it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I also tell a lot of the girls, I'm like, you know, you love these celebrities, but remember, there's someone that they're paying to be in control of their social media. It's typically not them, you know, so it's probably, you know, they've got the makeup team getting their makeup done, everything, you know, and someone else is in charge of making them look good. Not necessarily them, right? It's so unrealistic.
Somebody else in charge of their whole image, and then whatever they post, it's been photoshopped. It's not even and so that's
absolutely
the thing that is affecting girls. Body image, self-esteem wise, and just the whole feeling like they are enough. Unfortunately, social media is, you know, affecting girls and feeling like they're not enough.
Yeah.
Because they feel like they can't measure up.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you say to your moms then, the moms that you work with, when, you know, they see their daughters comparing themselves to the social media? Like, how can moms help them when their daughters are in this constant state of comparison?
Well, the first thing is moms have to model healthy social media, healthy self-esteem, you know. And, you know, we're human. Mm-hmm. Women struggle with comparison too.
Absolutely.
And, you know, so it's like, monitor your interactions. You know, you may not, in front of your daughter, you may not want to say, ooh, my friend got a new house. There they go. Mm. Oh, they're going on another vacation. You may not want to do that, because that's modeling comparison.
Yeah.
You know, there she goes posting her husband again. You know, you
right.
don't want to say those type of things, because you're teaching your daughter to compare.
Right.
So the first thing is, you know, kind of check yourself and make sure that you're not caught in that comparison cycle as well. And then the second thing is, you know, talk to your daughter about her worth and her value in herself. And, you know, encourage her that her likes and her shares and her double taps and how many followers, none of that should matter. None of that really equates to your worth. That none of that stuff even matters, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter how many likes you got on a picture. Like, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. What matters is how you feel about yourself. How did you feel when you posted that? Mm-hmm. Did you only post that to get likes? Did you only post that to one up somebody else? You know? Mm-hmm. So it's really more having those intrinsic conversations about, how did you feel? Why did you post that? How did you feel when you posted that? Mm-hmm. And why does this post matter to you? What does this mean to you? Mm-hmm. So having deeper conversations about their social media, and just kind of, when that comparison monster comes up, because it will come up, it happens, checking those thoughts and having a conversation about those thoughts.
Yeah, no, I think that's great, because social media, like it or not, it's there. And it's up there as like probably the top 3, you know, things important in their lives with teenagers. So it's important for to parents, moms, to have those conversations. So thank you for that. Great advice. So talking about teenagers and success, in your experience, what do you think is the most important skill or maybe the mindset that teenagers must adopt in order to achieve success?
Yeah. Okay. So I love talking about this. So, um, you know, they've got to develop this growth mindset instead of having a fixed mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that someone with a growth mindset, they believe that they can. They believe that they can keep trying. They take risks. They try new things. They don't give up. They don't feel like they've failed. They feel like maybe, okay, well, I kind of messed up right there, but let me just take some steps and redo it.
Yeah.
They don't give up. Whereas somebody with a fixed mindset, as soon as they're faced with failure or as soon as they're faced with something that gets difficult or challenging, they don't even want to go there. They're fixed in this, okay, that's not for me. It's too hard. I messed up that one time. Nope, not going to do it. And if you're in that mindset, you're closing so many doors because you're not going to try new things. You're not going to go out for new jobs, new leadership positions. You're not going to travel because you're fixed in this, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That didn't work last time. You're fixed in this mindset of negativity.
Mm-hmm.
So I always encourage girls, even whenever you're faced with a hard time, I believe in failure, honestly. I think that failure makes us stronger. Failure makes us better people. I don't think that, whenever you fail, I don't think the world is over. I think that gives you another chance to do it better and to learn. Mm-hmm. And so I encourage girls, whenever you have a setback or whenever you mess up or you make a mistake or whenever something's not going your way, just think about it, just strategize. Okay, well, what can we do? What can we do to turn this around? What can I do to make an A on my test next time instead of a C? Mm-hmm. What can I do the next time my friends pressure me to sneak out the house?
Yeah.
What do I need to do about that?
Right.
So, yeah, growth mindset. That's what they need.
Thank you. So how can parents, moms, dads nowadays, what can they do to help their teen girls develop that growth mindset?
So it starts with kind of checking the conversation around whatever's going on. Mm-hmm. And like with that, I believe in the power of the word yet. Meaning, if a girl is sitting at the kitchen table and she's like, I'm horrible at math. This is stupid. I don't want to do this assignment. I'm bad at math. Then what mom can do is say, you're not that good in math yet, but what are we going to do? What are we going to do so that you can be a rock star at math? Mm-hmm. And that kind of gets her to thinking, okay, well, maybe I'm not good at this yet, but I can go to tutorials. We can hire a tutor. I can stay after school and talk to the teacher, whatever that plan may be.
Right.
But if you add that word yet, then that opens the door for more opportunity. And that works for adults too. Like, I'm not good at cooking yet. But I am going to be good at cooking because I'm going to get a recipe book. I'm going to YouTube recipes, and I'm going to be a good cook.
Yeah.
See, it makes more opportunity whenever you add that yet. Because nobody's good at everything. There's something that people struggle with. Right. But if you add that word yet, you have that room for growth.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And it's changing that whole thought process, because I know teenagers can tend to go towards that negative path. They see other people doing it. It's easy to go down the negative path and just say, like, I failed. I'm just not going to. And I love what you just said about using that word yet. And it's getting that mind to shift, because your mind has to believe it first before it can actually be reality, right? So it's getting them to shift. And I think that is just wonderful, wonderful advice on getting them to shift that mindset and then they believe it, right?
Yeah.
The possibility. That's beautiful.
That's the first step is shifting your mind on pretty much everything in life. Your first step is taking that mind shift and believing that there can be change.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can take that action.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is your best advice for parents of teenagers?
Best advice. Let's see. I would say know that they are in a transition.
Mm-hmm.
They are no longer your baby, no longer your princess. They are in a phase of trying to figure out who they are and where they belong in this world. And they're feeling a lot of pressure to become something.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't really know what that is yet. They don't really know who they are. They're trying to figure it out. They're trying to gain their independence. It's a really confusing time.
Yeah.
They're getting pressure from friends. They have a lot of academic pressure. Oh my gosh, like there's so much pressure to have above a 4.0 right now. And for most people, that's not attainable. That's just really hard. But everybody's getting pressured to have above a 4.0 because if you don't, you won't go to a great school.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's not true. There's so many great schools, but it's just that pressure, you know. So my advice would be to give your daughter the support and the love and the affection that she needs from you, but also give her some space to become who she needs to be. Let her gain that independence while she's under your home, because, you know, while she's living with you. Because if you wait till she goes to college and she's trying to become independent and trying all these new things, things may go crazy.
Yeah.
Brand new, like, what is this? Independence. Let's go crazy.
Yeah.
So give her that room to become who she's going to become. She's not going to be a replica of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so take that pressure off already. She's not a replica of you. She's also not, she may get above a 4.0, but let her be the person to decide she is going to get above a 4.0. So I would just say, you know, take away the pressure of you have to be this, you have to do this, you have to do this. Of course you're going to encourage her. Of course you're going to motivate her to be her best self, but let her be that best self of who she is, not of who the world and you and her teachers and her friends are creating her to be. Let her become her best self by getting to know herself and, you know, exploring her own goals and morals and values and her own worth and what she wants to become in this world.
Beautiful, beautiful advice. And that goes really hand in hand what you were saying before about that, you know, asking questions and communicating and listening, and it all just comes together. You know, that's how they can do it, really.
Sure.
The parents can make it. So thank you so much for your fantastic wisdom and advice that you shared with us today. I just wanted to remind our audience that, you know, along with this interview is the link to Keisha's free gift. And we didn't get a chance to talk about this earlier, but if you wanted to, what do you want to say a little bit about the free gift on your site, if you wouldn't mind sharing?
So I want you to go to my site and download this awesome PDF that parents love. And the title of it is 10 Secrets Teen Girls Wished Their Parents Knew. And I'm kind of spilling the beans in this. And I'm just sharing the secrets that the girls share with me in my office that they wish their parents knew, to better help them communicate, to better help them connect, and to better help them have a bond as they are in high school before they leave to college. So you'll just go to CoachKeisha.com. That's CoachKeisha.com. And right there at the very top, it'll say 10 Secrets Teen Girls Wish Their Parents Knew. Just put your email address and it'll come right over to you.
Fantastic. Yes. And definitely make sure you take advantage of that. You want to get the inside scoop of what your daughter is what's going on in her mind and what she's probably talking about with her girlfriends and maybe doesn't feel comfortable sharing with you. So that's awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
No worries.
So again, Keisha, thank you so much for this conversation. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And to our audience, stay tuned for our expert tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me, and thanks for listening, everyone. And feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help.
Fantastic. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.